Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be whipping out a top 5 wide receiver duos around the NFL video.
First ranking video of 2020.
Many more to be coming. So while we were making this list, JD decided he wanted to make some honorable mentions, and he has gotten 3 now. So
had 6,
and I have none. So you can
right.
Go ahead with them. Start off.
The first one I left out was the Saints with Michael Thomas and Emmanuel Sanders.
I didn't even consider them. Oh my!
Okay. Other one was
a good shout, just because of Michael Thomas on his own.
The Rams, Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods.
Ooh, yeah.
I wanted to put them in, but
didn't consider them either.
Okay. And then they're kind of my main IDs written down as my honorable mentions because I think they're the ones that were the closest to getting into my top 5 were those two. But like I had Denver, who we don't know about yet because Jerry Jeudy and Courtland Sutton. Obviously Sutton has shown what he can do in the league.
Sutton's gold.
You wait for Jerry Jeudy. I thought you'd have them in there because you love Courtland Sutton. Adam Thielen and Justin Jefferson, just because Adam Thielen. But Justin Jefferson's a rookie.
I was like, why not Diggs? Nope, Gonzo.
Gone. You could have no.
There you go, the Bills.
Yep. Then the one I really want to put in, who I think are really underrated, are Marvin Jones and Kenny Golladay. I think they give you both.
True.
They take you a lot. Like you have the deep ball with Kenny Golladay. Marvin Jones is a playmaker, and then
they just get fucked by their quarterback over and over.
Exactly. You had fucking David Blau on stage. And
yeah,
then
exactly.
My other one again, like 1, 2, 3 of these were left off.
I like the Detroit one.
See, I really I adored fucking them. And the rookie, the 3 of them were left off because they're rookies, and this one is T.Y. Hilton and Michael Pittman. Because I think T.Y. Hilton is T.Y. Hilton, but gets injured, and now he finally has a number 2. But we have to wait and see what Michael Pittman does with Philip Rivers, obviously. And them. So that's my real honorable mentions are Rams with Kupp and Woods, and then Thomas and Sanders with the Saints. Yeah. Because Thomas, like they're the 2 that almost got in. Right,
so let's get into our top 5s. I shall start, considering I had no honorable mentions. So my number 5 duo is DeAndre Hopkins and Larry Fitzgerald.
They weren't even in consideration.
Okay, that's right.
Not even in consideration.
Well, I mean, DeAndre Hopkins is arguably maybe my favorite wide receiver in the whole league.
Spoiler.
Considering I always often put him in number 1 as well in my list, just to piss you off. And Larry Fitz is a legend that has been around and produces consistently every fucking year.
I thought of DeAndre Hopkins, but then I
couldn't not have him in a wide receiver video, to be honest.
Never left him on.
And Larry Fitz isn't exactly a good or a bad secondary to go with. He's always been safe hands for the Cardinals.
He is. It's just when I saw him, I took him out of the equation because when it comes to them, I'd rather see Christian Kirk as a number 2 because I think at this stage he needs to fucking grab his balls and put him up his fucking ass at this stage.
I mean, yeah, realistically they should be, because Larry Fitz should be sliding down the depth chart.
He's not, in fairness to him. You are right. He is not. He's not. Yeah. He's obviously not as good as he was, but he still has more tackles in his career than drops. My number 5, weird list now actually, is Cleveland. Odell and Landry are my 5. Simply because what brings them down for me, I know you have to go off talent of the players and that.
Can we just say as well, before we get into this, last year that might have been like 1 or 2 in the duos. Yeah. And this before year the season, obviously not.
My bias is because of, obviously, I had Odell for the first time in my life, had Odell in my fantasy team, and he decided to never get the ball from.
Yeah. This one season that he just went to sleep for the whole season.
So like the thing with me is, I think if you kind of go like I for this thing, I kind of took in skill, production, and like promise or prospect of these duos. So with them becomes production for what we've seen in Cleveland with the 2 of them. I didn't obviously. It was very one-sided. It was Baker looked at Jarvis all the time because he knows his tendencies, where he's going to go. They've known each other longer. They played together longer. While Odell seemed to, it wasn't like he was dropping passes. You just never seemed to get open. Even when he was open, he was either looked off by Baker or Baker didn't get a chance to get it to him. So it's like with them,
that whole team last year was just dumpster fire. Those
exactly. It's like Baker go for his rookie season again and make this duo the best duo in the entire league. Because when you think skill wise, you arguably couldn't find a better hands than Jarvis Landry or a better playmaker than Odell Beckham. But it's just the fact what they've done together and what we've seen of them, I can't put them any higher
It's
than
just
they are.
the letdown that they gave us last year just makes them slide down every list.
Exactly.
And there's no way it can't be.
Number 4?
My 4 is something that I hope you have in there, but it might be a bit of a stretch. My number 4 is the Seahawks. Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf. You don't have him in at all?
No, I have him in there.
Oh, you have him higher. Oh, good. DK Metcalf is potentially going to explode into, well, a number 1 wide receiver for the team, but like a top wide receiver in the league as well.
Definitely
and Tyler Lockett's always been solid hands as well for the Seahawks. I'd arguably put him already as the number 2 in the Seahawks and as the number 1, but it, again, has to be seen in this season that he can actually live up to the potential that it looks like he can get.
Talent-wise, he's definitely, when it comes to talent with 2 of them, you definitely put DK above him. But then the only reason, like,
and of course he's only had 1 year in the league, so his potential is still.
Yes, it's hard because like Tyler Lockett has been so good for so long. He had he's only really had 1 year as their number 1 option because Doug was gone. So like, because he had Doug, then Josh Gordon was there last year. I don't think he's still there.
And him and Doug were a good duo as well. And DK is just like a different monster altogether than Doug Baldwin was.
Tyler Lockett is kind of like Julian Edelman. He's like the perfect complementary piece to every number 1 wide receiver. Like DK, like I completely agree with you. The fact that the last year he showed, for some reason, people looked at him and said, "You're not going to be good. You're just a big guy. You're not. You blew up the combine," which is obviously for a guy who I don't really rate combines. But when you saw him, like physicality,
even
speed,
just seeing
hands.
Because when we first saw them was when we saw, was it him and AJ Brown?
Yes.
Picture of them like way before the draft, just shirtless, like fucking. What would you chiseled is a word for it, yeah. But like usually that doesn't translate into skill on the field. It's just like, yeah, okay, he's fit, but can he do it on the field? And with both of them, it's turned out that they can both do it on the field. So
they both fell in. Well, I think I nearly give AJ Brown more credit than I'd give DK Metcalf because the situation they fell into. Like AJ Brown had a quarterback who didn't really know who you're getting from, and a coach who's defensive minded, like Rabel. But then you get Pete Carroll and Russell Wilson, who's almost the perfect guys to learn from when it comes to
completely different situations.
Exactly. It's like DK Metcalf is Russell Wilson's Julio Jones, DeAndre Hopkins kind of option of where it's if the play is kind of dying down, he doesn't have to be open because he's 30-40 pounds, 4 or 5 inches taller than whoever's on him, and he's just as quick. So DK Metcalf, I definitely adore. I think he's going to be probably a top 10 wide receiver this year. Yeah. And we saw it last year. Arguably could have been last year when you looked at him.
Although he he exploded more at the end of the season.
When they needed him.
It going.
So I'm glad you actually have them. I was afraid you mightn't have them in there.
So you're number 4.
This one was hard.
Okay.
Because their number 2 could have been 2 or 3 guys. It's KC with Tyreek Hill, and I put in Mecole Hardman instead of Sammy Watkins or Demarcus Robinson. You put in Sammy Watkins.
Don't even have him.
What do you have in there?
Don't even have him.
You don't have any of these, honestly.
I don't have KC at all, and I did consider them, but I don't have them.
See, lads, this is why we don't have conversations beforehand, because this shit happens.
Yeah.
Who the fuck? Oh, you do have the person I left out in. Well, I do.
I didn't put them in. I think the deciding factor for me was Patrick Mahomes.
He makes him look better.
He can make anything look better.
I think, but the thing is I think Tyreek Hill got them into this because I think Mecole Hardman, Demarcus Robinson. We saw what Sammy Watkins was before KC, which he was good, but he wasn't number 1. Mm-hmm. And then Mecole Hardman is a utility kind of guy. He can do. When he's used right. Like in this offense, they have a lot to deal with. First of all, because like you said, you have Pat Mahomes, you have Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, Sammy, all these guys. The running backs now, they have Edwards, Hilaire.
Now, and I don't want to take too much away from them. Obviously, I know they are huge playmakers. Like Tyreek Hill, for example, Patrick Mahomes just throws it to him short and then he explodes down the field. That's obviously all him. But I think Patrick Mahomes just elevates that entire, because you saw even last year, he was throwing to people you'd never even heard of and they were getting touchdowns. So it just makes the whole wide receiver core look better on that team.
Yeah, the only thing with Tyreek Hill is that I think he's probably the most dangerous wide receiver in the NFL because there's no one who can catch a ball 5 yards past the scrimmage and then take it 80.
Yeah.
But then again, like you said, but that like last year, I had all those questions for him last year. He seemed to answer a lot of them when he was playing. That he used to get like when he got in, he was getting contested balls. He was like getting these kind of extended arm catches rather than just straight into a stomach and going. So I think he proved a lot. But again, like we said, the likes of Mecole Hardman, the rookie last year, Demarcus Robinson, Sammy Watkins, they're not going to elevate them further up above the guys I have already in here. But they would be my 4. I understand why you leave them out because of the Pat Mahomes. The guys, I don't know who the fuck you have in here.
It's just for me, for like a wide receiver, for my personal favorite type of wide receiver is someone who can like strong the ball, like 1v1 and strong the ball out of their fucking hand or something.
No old school wide receiver.
So my number 3 duo is one that you've already said, Odell Beckham and Jarvis Landry.
I can see them going better.
The only reason I even have them that high is because, as I said, last year, before the season had started, they probably would have been 1 or 2 on my list, because obviously Giants fan, Odell, very, very high in my love for wide receivers. But the way last year went, it just has to slide down no matter what you do. But they do still have the talent. And going into this season is another one for Cleveland where you look at it beforehand and you think they could go all the way to the fucking Super Bowl. But it remains to be seen again. Like they still have the talent. The two of those guys are still really, really talented guys. It's just fucking.
We did say if the first ever fucking video we said that maybe a first or second video we talked about the Browns. We said that it'll take at least a year or 2 for it to work, and we didn't expect as bad as they were. But they
this team as a whole could be taken like a rookie season, and second year, like any player in the NFL in any position, is usually like the explosion year. So that could be this for the team, but
also
we won't talk about the Browns for too long.
So, my 3, who you will definitely have higher, but this is not biased. This is not a gripe. The fact I have them here is enough. My 3 is Tampa Bay with Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. The guys I have above them, what brought us down was Chris Godwin. Brought them down for me.
Really?
Yes, because last year I think he benefited a lot from the system of
pass heavy.
Not even that, just fucking throw the ball up there and hope it happens. Yeah. I think like Mike Evans obviously is a top 5 wide receiver in the league. Mike Evans is one of the best players in the league. Always has been. He's at 1,000 yards every single year of his career. That much I will never forget. And he's fucking made up for, like we saw earlier, that James Winston could have had 15 interceptions last year. Mike Evans has brought that down every single year of, I'm not even open, but you want to throw it to me anyway. I'm going to catch it with one hand, or catch it over.
He is that guy I just talked about, strong guy who yanked the ball 1v1.
Exactly.
Out of the
and like I say, Chris Godwin is a good wide receiver, but from what I saw from him, it was a lot of athleticism and not as much skill.
I mean, you could take it as well that they're like everything about their stats and all this were inflated just by the fact that they had Jameis Winston, who was throw everything and see what happens. Kind of good.
That's like I said, like Mike Evans. The 1 to 3 was hard to decide because like you have to take into fact obviously Tom Brady, but I'd take the fact of him out of it because of the like this is wide receivers, the skill wise.
Yeah.
But
you
again,
have to not look at the quarterback,
which was hard to do. Very hard to do because
obviously that's the fucking duo you look at is the quarterback throwing to the wide receiver.
Well, like I said, I couldn't. Mike Evans, obviously top 5 wide receiver. There's always an argument to say he's the best because he's arguably over the last 5-6 years been the most productive out of anybody. So they are there, but like I said, Chris Godwin brings them down a small bit. But they're still 3. Like, the gap between 3 and 1 is not that fucking different.
Yeah. So my number 2. I want to say could be your number 1, but I don't know. My number 2 is the Atlanta Falcons, Julio Jones and Calvin Ridley.
Even a secret. When we were talking earlier, and I said, "Oh my god, I don't want to leave him out, but I have to leave him out."
I thought that's exactly what I thought you were on.
I couldn't. Yeah.
Why?
Julio Jones, best wide receiver in the league.
Yeah.
Calvin Ridley's a baby.
Yeah.
Who doesn't show up in big situations or small situations or situations in between.
He shows up though.
Dog shit. I don't trust Calvin Ridley. I don't trust who the fuck else is there. Anthony Miller. Don't trust God piss.
I mean, that team is very inconsistent as a whole. I mean, the way that their season went last year, because especially to this channel, it like hurts more because of your prediction before the season. If you don't know what happened before last season, when we did our predictions, JD predicted that the Falcons would get, was it Super Bowl or playoffs? Somewhere towards the end of the season. Oh, it was a Super Bowl. Okay. So, and then, as you probably do know, the season did not go well for the Falcons at all. They were
Defense got better at the end of the year.
absolute trash. How long did Julio go without a touchdown? Was it like 9-10 games?
It was a lot. It was.
I think it was that.
He
Yeah.
finished like 5 still.
And he had yards every game. So Julio is always going to be top 1, 2, 3 wide receiver in the whole league. He has been for a long time now. So him alone, you could put up there. But considering it's a duos video, I did that. That's the reason I didn't put him number 1.
I had them. See, if I go back to about 4 weeks ago, I had them 1, and then I got what the fuck.
And I mean, I put Calvin Ridley in there as well because like when he did produce last year, they looked deadly. Calvin Ridley,
He was
going.
He finished
very
500
deep.
yards behind.
And he
Julio.
was getting the touchdowns before Julio was doing it, and then he'd throw in the games in between where he just wasn't doing anything.
The thing with him
It's
is
inconsistency, but I feel like a lot of that is due to the team as well. Like the whole team was inconsistent.
my thing with Julio, like I said, Julio's. I just looked there. He's 1,300 yards till the end of the season and 6 touchdowns. While he started off slow and then Ridley started off fast and still only finished with 800 yards and 7 touchdowns. So I think when it comes to red zone, I think he benefits a lot off athleticism and speed, while Julio has skill, speed, strength, a whole lot.
That is the only worry I think with Calvin Ridley, for me at least.
He just goes quiet
He's
so often.
a lot of just speed.
Like when you watch, like every time you watched the Falcons last year, like all these teams I had, like I couldn't even put him in honorable mentions. I could have just put Julio Jones by himself in there.
Yeah.
But with Calvin Ridley, is he didn't show up when he needed to. He's not the guy you can look to if you need a first down, touchdown. You Julio Jones, whatever. There's no point in talking with him. When it comes to him, I don't trust him, and I don't trust Anthony Miller. Miller should be behind him. Oh man. Anyone behind Julio Jones, I didn't trust. And from the yards and receptions, you see it is Julio Jones. And when it comes to touchdowns, it was the fact of Julio's getting double, sometimes triple coverage. And then that's why Calvin Ridley benefits off it. And I think you have to take that into account as well. But like I said, Julio Jones can get them to the top 10. But I just had to.
I think when Calvin Ridley is on, that's what has put those two as my number
Riley Ridley
2.
is going there. No, Calvin and Riley are there. Sorry.
Fun fact. Yeah. So,
I feel like.
your number 2 is somebody I probably don't even have on the list. Cause
this is the only one I have a rookie in there with it because I think he's that good of a rookie, and I'm going to project that he's going to be that good of a rookie. Amari Cooper.
Oh
and
my
CeeDee
god, I knew it. Fuck's sake.
I could.
That just clicked as you said. Oh my god.
I couldn't leave out. I think CeeDee Lamb is by far. I think I said it. He was my favorite. I think my favorite was. Jalen Reagor was my favorite wide receiver in draft. I think from the video I did. But CeeDee Lamb is. I think he's going to come in straight away. Even with Michael Gallup being there, I think he adds so much to the offense where you can. Amari Cooper's number 1. He's going to be number 1 for at least a year or 2 left. But then CeeDee Lamb is set up for the next 10 years to be. He's taken Michael Irvin's number and Des Bryant's number. He's really put it on his shoulders. He seems to have the confidence. He definitely has the skill. Definitely has the speed. He has everything really. Yeah. And then you have Michael Gallup, who now like burst onto the scene last year, but now he can move to slot, have less. They can benefit off him in the slot. He's not as big as you want him to be. But like CeeDee Lamb and Amari Cooper. Amari Cooper is one of the quietest players you'd ever see, but also one of the best. Like there's no one, bar maybe Antonio Brown, who gets sideline catches like he has.
Yeah.
There's no one that gets open consistently as he can. There's not many guys who are better at route running than he is. It's just when Dallas have needed him, he's been there. When Oakland needed him, he was there, even as number 1 on both those teams. So I think Amari Cooper. I remember we did the wide receiver thing last year, and I overlooked him. I'm sure we both did.
Yeah.
We left him out of it for some reason because we just fucking didn't think of him. But that's what you kind of see from him because he's so quiet and he was injured a lot, but when he's healthy, safe hands, good route running, can burst past players. I think he has it all, and that's why. And then CeeDee Lamb, I think, is going to complement him perfectly.
Yeah.
But that's why
that'll make it even better, even sweeter when the Cowboys fail this year. My number 1, which you already know, I believe, is Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. Because for me, I think it was actually pretty clear that this was going to be it. And I did, to be fair, wrongly of me, I did kind of take in the fact that Tom Brady was now going to be their quarterback as well.
It was easy for me not to because it's biased. So.
Yeah, I know. But I mean, as you've said when you got to them yourself, Mike Evans is a top wide receiver in the league. Like, easily top 5. And for me, Chris Godwin, I don't think that big of a weight for him at all. Like, he's had, I think the stat I saw for him was that he has a lower than 1% drop.
Passes.
Dropped less than 1% of his passes. That's the set. So I mean, that's safe hands that he was also trucking out yards last year, along with Mike Evans. And I know a lot of it was, again, to do with the fact that James Winston was eating everything up there. But without those two as his 2 wide receivers, God knows what his stats would have been. Jesus.
No, I just don't. He could prove me wrong again this year, but I just felt like last year was a flash in the pan for him. And I think this year, yeah. I think this year, but then it's kind of a bad. It's gonna look shit anyway for me because he's gonna be with Tom Brady this year. We can't ignore that in the end. Tom Brady's gonna give him the ball. So I understand. Like I said, I had him they're my number 3. Like I said, 3 to 1 doesn't have a big gap. Like, it's not a big deal having them 3 or having them 1 because you could have fucking swapped them anywhere in there. I just couldn't have them. Like I said earlier, there's no bad thing on about it. Because Godwin brought down for me. Anyway.
I did also get a really good close look last year at how good they were when they played us. Now that was one of the few games that we fucking won last year. Giants.
Was that overtime? Was it Rose's kick?
No, they missed the kick. They could have beat us.
True.
Yeah, no, but both of them, I know it's not much to say both of them torched our defense, but like they put up massive numbers and it just shows that they're elite level, the 2 of them. So they're going to be my number 1.
And your number 1? Guess what my number 1 is.
Yes. And I know that they're the only ones left that you haven't mentioned that I have on my list.
Have a guess?
DK Metcalf.
Yep.
And is Tyler Lockett the...
Yeah, just... It's kind of like Tyler Lockett has been so good throughout his entire career. And it's the fact of he now knows he's not a number 1. Even last year he still was, but he saw DK. And I think DK... I would say in the next 4 or 5 years, as Julio Jones phases out, as Odell probably phases out, as these guys, older guys, kind of fade out of it, T.Y. Hilton probably will slowly, Michael Thomas, these kind of guys, as they fade out, I think DK will make a huge push for the best wide receiver in the league. And that's from, like I said, his physical attributes, obviously his skill set, and the fact he's Russell Wilson to work off. But that's not even Russell, it's the fact you have Tyler Lockett who can play a slot or wide out. You learn from him. You have Pete Carroll. You have... He's like the Aaron Donald of wide receivers. Like his physique makes absolutely no sense. And it's like Zion Williamson where it's not... You don't worry about injuries because DK Metcalf doesn't get injured. Like Zion didn't get injured. Yeah. It's just... He's like a generational talent. Generational human, really. From the size of him where he has every... Kind of like... He's like Julio Jones. Like Julio Jones is probably as strong as him still because Julio Jones is an absolute monster human. But he reminds me of Julio Jones in the way he plays, where it's like he'll beat you on he'll beat you on a fade route, he'll beat you on a corner route, he can do everything you want a wide receiver to do, and I think he's one of the best draft picks we've seen in a long time, and he's going to be the leader of that team because I can't see them letting him go ever. But he's just going to keep getting better and better, whether he loses weight, gains weight, whatever it is. Play him a tight end sometimes if you need. Like it's just I think. DK is exciting.
It's an exciting prospect for that team.
Yeah, so definitely, like I said, the gap between 3 to 1 isn't that big, but I think DK is going to be the best wide receiver in the league, and he reminds me a lot of Julio Jones. And as a guy who adores Julio Jones, that's probably what pushes them as well. But yeah, they're definitely my number 1. Yeah. But like we're going to have a wide receiver. We're going to have a lot of rankings soon because we're doing defense this year.
You know, it was an even better way to think about it. You left out Julio Jones and DeAndre Hopkins. Wide receiver video. What do you feel about that, buddy?
This is not being an argument, please. Send in the video.
Right, that's going to be us done. Let us know if you enjoyed this video and if you want to see more duo videos, I guess. There'll be more top 5s to come anyway. Let us know if you want to see more of this kind of video, and if you did enjoy, leave a like on the video, subscribe, Hit the bell icon if you want to get notified for when we upload, and we will see you in the next one.
Peace out.